Hello, guys, and welcome to another episode of the podcast. It's your boy Joba, and it's been a while. At this point, it's always been a while, but I am I've just been very very busy. So apologies to everyone, to all my listeners, or my fans. I'm sorry. So there was this event that happened recently. I didn't know why I'm just getting straight to the point. Normally, I would have said some other stuff, but then this episode is Adjust to Pain. It's a very simple title. And life has been feeling slow. I wouldn't say life has been feeling slow, but then like I'm thinking about to finish school. So I'm having all this stress and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. I have some work to do and commitments and it's a whole lot. So, but there's sometimes where you're just sitting down and you're observing, and you just see people doing a lot better than you. Not like a lot better than you, but then it feels like they're doing a lot better than you. In reality, they might not be doing a lot better than you, but then the way social media plays it out is like, oh, they're here this day, they're here tomorrow, they're doing this today, they're doing that tomorrow, and then you just feel a bit bad about it. Like, when am I going to start, popping out and doing all this amazing stuff, and stuff like that. But I just wanted to say that everybody feels this way. Everybody feels like they're behind on something, even if you're like the richest person in the world, like the most accomplished. There's always something that you feel like you should have done better, or you should be doing, or you can do. It's always this. Life is a very, I don't know how to explain it. Life is very. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. But yeah, the summary of this is that you should just keep your head down, and just do what you're doing. Just make sure that you're focusing on what you're doing and you're doing it very well. And at the end of the day, it's all going to work out. So the premise of this episode, I was feeling down actually, and then I decided to record a podcast episode, but like I already planned this like a week before because I'm too busy. So I didn't know if I still have those feelings within me, but I'm just going to share at least from a logical perspective of what happened. So I lost my glasses. I know, weird, right? I lost my glasses like last week Saturday. Like last week, let's say last week Saturday. I mean, time doesn't really matter in this context. But then I lost my glasses a week ago, and then I still remember that day. I hooked it to I was wearing a crossbar because I was coming from tutorial, and I hooked the glasses case, my recommended photochromic glasses that I just collected a month prior, right? So I'm just give you guys the precedence as to how precious those glasses are to me. So I hooked it to the strap of my bag. I was very absent minded, to be honest, and I think that was the reason why I lost those glasses. I was absent minded, and then I took bike somewhere, and I also walked somewhere. So when I was going home from where I walked, and that was like around 9 p.m., and I checked my bag and I was like, where are my glasses? I was like, where are my actual glasses? And then I retraced my steps. Like, I used an hour to retrace my steps. And then I was feeling too bad about it because I came home by like 10 p.m. after walking for like an hour. And I was so lost. I was so confused. And then I started on my bed and I was like, and I was about to like crash out, like full blown crashing out. This was like kneeling down, shouting. I thought man, I was like what the fuck's going on? And I remember I sat down and I was like, where are the freaking tears? I need the tears. I need it. And it just couldn't come out. My body couldn't give me those tears. And I had like 2 or 3 strands just coming out, like, it's like, why can't I? I was like, I don't know how to summarize this pain. I was like, why can't I cry? I was so confused. Maybe it's the fact that I haven't lost anything before in that kind of magnitude. Like I know that people that have lost their phones, that people that have lost money or ATM cards or this. But for me, I've never actually lost anything before. I've never lost money. I've never lost phones or I've never lost anything of value before. Maybe like I use 500 naira or like 1,000 naira. But like I've never lost anything of value before. And those glasses were very, very, very valuable to me. Still valuable to me, but they're gone already. So the next day after crashing out, and just getting pissed, I didn't even eat that night. I just slept off in my self pity. I went to retrace my steps the next day, and where I drove from my bike, I just saw my case, the glasses case, all beat up and worn up. Like I've played with it, and I've dragged it through the road and everything. And the glasses were not there. I still tried to like ask some shop owners and everything, and they couldn't locate my glasses. And that's when reality set in. I was like, damn man. And I went to go and play table tennis to clear my head. But then I was so sad, and I was like, let me record a podcast episode. And that's where we are now. I was feeling so down, and I thought about recording a podcast. In a way, it made me realize how the work makes me happy, like how recording a podcast makes me happy. It just reminds me of why I do this kind of stuff in the first place. And I was already thinking about the podcast. I already thought about the cover, or what I'll use for the cover of the podcast and everything. So like the idea of creating something from that loss already like helped me deal with the grief. I'm not as sad as I am last week, but then I mean I am partially blind, but I will survive. I will survive. So and then, I was just trying to process the whole situation of losing something very dear to me. And I accepted like certain circumstances, and I thought about the Kipling poem. I don't know if you guys have heard of the Kipling poem before. So I was going to like, it talks about a great deal of personal loss and struggles and this and that. So I'm just going to read it with you guys. So I'm just going to read it. Maybe I'll try to explain or something. I mean, it's very explanatory, but I'll just try to explain it. So I'm just going to read it from here. I have my phone. So yeah, let's start. The Kipling poem. I don't know the name of the guy. I think his name is Kipling something, but then he has a poem. And it's, I guess, he has a book per se, but then like the most popular part of the book is the poem, Kipling poem. So here it goes. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. So if you can keep calm and you keep collected when everybody is trying to blame you, let's say you're in a certain situation and it's very bad and everybody's just on pressure. If you can keep calm and just keep calm and keep collected, and then okay, you know what? I'm going to read everything and then I will now start explaining it like stanza by stanza. So let's do that. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. If you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowances for that doubting too. If you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or be lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good nor talk too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can be triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same. If you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make trap for fools, or watch the things you gave life to broken, and stoop and build them up with worn out tools. If you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it all on one ton of pigeon and toss, and lose and start again at your beginnings, and never breathe a word about your loss. If you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, and so hold on when there's nothing in you, except the way we say to them, hold on. If you can walk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings nor lose the common touch, if neither fools nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minutes with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and which is more, you be a man, my son. I think the best part about the poem for me is this part. If you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it all on one ton of pigeon and toss, and lose and start at your beginnings, and never breathe a word about your loss. It's a very beautiful poem. You just take a minute to what's the word for it? Take a minute to breathe it in. Just assimilate everything that I just read for you. So what I'm going to do now is that I think my main point for this podcast is the Kipling poem, and I'm just talking about it. So I'm just going to run through the Kipling poem again, and then I'll explain it the way I understand it. I'm not giving the explanation that the poem writer himself thought about it, but I will explain it in the way that I understand the poem. Okay, so if you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, like I said earlier, if you can keep calm and collected when everything is going to shit, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, or make allowances for that doubting too. If you can trust yourself, let's say like you're about to build something, but people don't think you can do it. And not only do you trust yourself that you can actually build it, but then you make allowances for the fact that it's okay for human beings to doubt. And you don't take it personal, like, okay, I know they haven't seen anything yet, and it's okay for them to doubt me and think that I can't build it and stuff like that. So that's making allowances for people's doubting too. People don't believe in you, and that's okay. You don't have to take it personal. You don't have to hold it against them. Just make allowances for that doubting. If you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or be lied about but don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good nor talk too wise. If you can be patient, and don't be tired by being patient, or they're lying about you, but you don't lie about other people, and your people hate you, but you don't have to hate them back. It's just like if you cannot retaliate. So like let's say somebody slaps you now, you don't have to, if you cannot, like, don't slap your own back or something like that. If you can just keep calm when everybody is trying to attack you. I think that's how I understand that part though. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim. So it's the same thing. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, dreams really enslave people. Just like parents, how some parents have that a dream that they wanted to be a doctor and they couldn't achieve that dream, and they now push it on their children to be doctors, even though their children, maybe your child doesn't wants to draw, just paint or something, and you're like pushing it that you need to be a doctor. And then at that point, the dream that the parent has is the master of their parent. So you cannot just discern between the fact that, okay, it's my dream, but it wasn't really anybody else's dream. Just to dream and not make dreams a master. I think that's the summary. If you can mix with triumph and disaster and treat those two imposters just the same, if you can win and be calm about it, if you can lose and be calm about it. I think this whole poem is just being calm and, accepting pain or adjusting to the pain itself. Maybe that's why I just picked this poem for this specific podcast episode. It's just adjusting to pain and understanding it and not reacting to certain situations. So, if you can bear the truth, you're spoken, twisted by knaves to make trap for fools. And then if you can keep your head when all about you. Wait, that's just something I just read. Oh, sure. I'm reading the same thing twice. My bad. So, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make trap for fools, or watch the broken things it gave life to, broken and stoop and build them up with one out tools. Same thing about personal loss, grief, and just managing yourself. I don't think I really need to explain everything else again. But this point, this one about the way you said you be a man when you I risk it all on one pitch and toss and lose and start again at the beginning and never breathe a word about your loss. It's a very important poem. And maybe I'll drop a link to where I found the poem. But then I didn't think I need to explain it because it's self-explanatory. So the main idea was just to adjust the pain, to be able to be comfortable in loss and grief, and still have some logical reasoning to not crash out like the way I crashed out. So I mean, that's it. Pain is inevitable. You know, you must simply adjust to it. You must simply accept pain as it is, and don't let it hinder you from doing the things you want to do with your life or doing the things you believe in. So, keep your head down, focus on what's ahead of you. And just like I said in the beginning, life feels slow. But then as long as you're just focusing on what you're doing and how you're doing it, and you're doing it very well, you would eventually be fine at the end of the day. Don't just listen to that social media chatter and everything. Life is a series of highs and lows. And you must be indifferent to it. You must adjust the pain. You must treat the lows the same way you treat the highs. Calm, collected, and stoic. Yeah, I think I'm stoic. So that's it for me. That's all I have for the episode. I've just been too busy to to give you guys a lot of content, which I'm sorry. So I think that's it for me. It's a very calm episode, just something to think about, nothing too crazy. So yeah, thank you for listening, and I will catch you in another episode. Peace.